Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I never said anywhere that he contested for elections. But he consulted me, he discussed with me. And because I declined to support him, he did not. And in fact, in his own statement, he stated that he used to debate, asking what were the issues that we debated on. My brother, it is for the past. It is for the past. Don't bring it here. Don't bring it here. Honorable members, is word against word. We don't want to go into investigation by cross-examination, and so we'll end it here. We move on to question number 528. Question number 528 stands in the name of, my daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, whilst we were talking about value addition and cashew, I want to respectfully bring to your attention that this year's budget has provision for the construction of 2 cashew factories in the Bono and Bono East regions. And also,
are you the Minister for Food and Agri?
Mr. Speaker, I am the Minister for Agribusiness, Minister responsible for value addition of cashew.
Have you been asked any question?
Mr. Speaker, this is very important information that I need to bring to the
Honorable Minister, at the appropriate time, you give us that information.
Thank you very much.
Please, don't try to take advantage of question time to give us your information. Yes, we move on to question number 528. Honorable member for Himan Lower Dentura. Honorable Lawrence Ajinsam, you may ask the question now. The honorable member is not available. We move on to the next question. Question number
food nationwide. In the light of increasing cost of foodstuff across the country, especially in mining communities.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for this year, the Ministry through the Feed Ghana program has provided nationwide support to smallholder farmers by supplying essential farm inputs, including improved seeds of tomato, rice, and maize, as well as fertilizers to boost crop production. In addition to individual farmers, the ministry extended input support to key institutions such as the National Service Authority, the Ghana Prison Service, and some farmer-based organizations to enhance their agricultural productivity. Again, the national buffer stock is being strengthened to mop up excess food produce from the systems as part of the a strategy to ensure all year-round food supply. Regional directors have also been placed on alert to inform the ministry and buffer stock of any excess produce occurring in their regions for immediate mop-up action. Mr. Speaker, these interventions collectively promote fair and inclusive access to food across Ghana by 1. Enhancing productivity in underserved regions by targeting all the agroecological zones. The ministry ensures that food production is not concentrated in a few areas, reducing regional disparities in food availability. We are also supporting institutional farms. Farm inputs to the prison service, the National Service Authority, and other institutional bodies help stabilize food supply in public institutions and government programs like the school feeding program, reducing pressure on local markets. Mr. Speaker, the impact of these interventions is reflected in Ghana's recent food inflation trends. According to Ghana Statistical Service, food inflation dropped to 3.9% in December 2025, down from 28.3% in January 2025, when the NDC government took over. This decline suggests improved food supply and price stability, driven by increased domestic production and reduced reliance on imports. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, just one supplementary. Mr. Minister, simple question. Are there any mechanisms your ministry has put in place to monitor and prevent price manipulation and exploitation by middlemen, particularly within mining communities? And how is your ministry collaborating with local authorities to stabilize food prices in these areas?
Yes, Minister, it's a very important question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we appreciate the fact that food prices in the production enclave are low. But when it comes to the urban areas, when demand is very high, food prices are high. It is the imbalance that we are trying to resolve. And so we are developing what we call the farmers market, where we can bring the farmers to interface with the buyers, the consumers directly, as a way of removing those middle people who exploit the system in their favor. And so it is something that we are working. We are creating what we call farmers market. And when that is created, the farmers will be able to bring the food stuffs to the market where the consumers will be available. And that is why in the budget, you saw that allocation has been made for the construction of 1,000 kilometers under what we call the agricultural rules. Because if we are able to fix roads linking the production centers to the consumption centers, transportation will be very easy. And once we are able to overcome that, food prices will be stable for all of us. Thank you very much.
Yes, the honorable gentleman in the middle, yes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm compelled to ask my last supplementary in view of the last answer that was given by the minister. So well, that may be permitted.
You learn it by experience. Because when you said that was your last supplementary, I almost asked you, do you answer that the minister will give, because that could trigger another supplementary. But here we are now. You are permitted because you have exhausted your three.
I am very grateful, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Minister, are you aware of the fact that when it comes to food pricing in today's Ghana, most foodstuff are priced higher in mining communities as against the urban areas, in view of the fact that lands which originally were used for farming have all now been turned into mining activities, thereby limiting the amount of foodstuff that is produced in mining areas. Are you aware of that?
Minister, are you aware?
Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware. But the current situation is this. If the honorable member is not aware, as we speak today, we have maize, rice, beans in excess of our demand. Even in this chamber today, the Honorable Rashid Pepo just approached me. Honorable Rashid Pepo alone has almost 1,000 bags of maize ready for market, and he's not getting market. In fact, I've even been told, Mr. Speaker, what we are doing as government is that we have provided resources to the National Food Buffer Stock to mop up the excess from the market and store against emergencies. And this is the first time in the history of our country that we are doing this. It was never done during your time. It never happened.
Our members, usually it's not advisable to ask a question, are you aware? Because the answer can be, I'm not aware, I am aware, and that's the end. You can't come back again. And so you don't ask questions like, are you aware? You see, Minister, you are aware. You are aware. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you. I'm not asking you because we are all experiencing it. That the size of kenke has not changed. Neither has the price. In spite of the food glut, in spite of the lower prices, he is aware. We are together in that. Well, if he denies, I will assess him.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not aware.
Exactly what I stated. You see, so I've assessed you and I've just made him to know that it's not advisable for people to ask questions, are you aware? Because the answer would be, I'm not aware, or I'm aware, and that's the end. please, I'll give more people. I haven't reached excellency yet. I'm just speaker. Yes, I had earlier on given it to the young man behind Honorable Jinapo, the young man behind you. He's not young. He comes from where?
Mr. Speaker.
Oh, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker.
Can you share your age with us?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I'm Gideon Boako, the MP for Tanana constituency. And I'm one of your sons, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm very, very young. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the minister talks about farmers market concepts. And the understanding I get from what the minister says is that the problem we have with the production of food and its distribution now is the difficulty in getting the foodstuffs from the farm gate to the main market or the intermediate markets, i.e. by the roadside. But Mr. Speaker, I beg to differ and to suggest that there is a bigger problem than the movement of foodstuffs from the farm gate to the market. As the minister indicated, a colleague member of parliament has about 1,000 bags of rice that are not in demand. Maize. Similarly, if you move across the country, I can use my constituency as example. If you go to the town of constituency that the minister is very much conversant with, now communities like in Suapim, Boma, and all of that, a lot of
the background, you know,
by the roadside.
Please ask the question.
The question I want to put to the minister is that what measures is he putting in place to ensure that in the era of lower inflation, food inflation, the demand for food will be enhanced such that the farmers will also be better off. As it stands, the farmers are not better off because they produce and the produce are not in demand. What measures is the minister putting in place to ensure that food is in high demand despite having lower inflation?
Yes, Minister.
Mr. Speaker, my understanding of the question is that it's simple. How do we increase demand for food in the system? But the honorable member knows that everybody has limited capacity in respect of how much food to eat. And so what we are looking at is the entire value chain, processing of the food. The first step is increasing production, which we have achieved. We have produced so much to the extent that prices are collapsing far below what is expected. And so what we are going to do is to develop the entire value chain, set up a processing factories, add value, package them, and even export. That is the only thing we can do to increase demand. But the first thing we must all applaud is that we have what is next? The next thing is to look at how we can add value. And that's what we are looking at. And then you also talk about food prices. That food inflation has come down, but still prices are high. How can that be possible? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of food inflation there? When we had food inflation at 61%, Ghana was listed among 10 countries in Africa with the highest food prices. And so why are you saying that today food inflation is 3.9% and we are still complaining about food prices? Where?
Well, who is the most senior? Is it the former minister? Yes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today the Ghana Statistical Service reported that food insecurity is gone up, and that today it's moved from 35.3% from quarter 1 2024 to 38.1% in quarter 2 2025.
First Deputy Speaker to take the chair.
Yes, Honorable, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was laying the foundation for the question. And the point was that the Ghana Statistical Service today is reported that food insecurity is rising from 35.3% in 2024 to 38.1% last year. And the service has actually warned that 13 million Ghanaians risk hunger this year. The Speaker, this report was released by the Ghana Statistical Service today. The minister is telling us that we are self-sufficient when it comes to food security. The question is, Mr. Speaker, in the light of these alarming statistics and data put out by the Ghana Statistical Service today, what assurances can the minister give to this House in terms of dealing with the situation where 13 million Ghanaians do not slip into hunger? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've already indicated that as we speak, we are building food buffer. In fact, I will write to Ghana Statistical Service to give us the locations of these individuals so that from our buffer, we can supply them, we can give them food. No, I'm not disputing what you have said. What I'm saying is that, Honorable, I'm not disputing what you have said.
Honorable Minister.
What I'm saying is that if we have 13 million people in Ghana who are food insecure, we must know their locations so that we can make them food secure. Their locations. You understand? So that's why I'm saying that once we have food buffer against emergencies, just indicate to me that close to your house you have 10 people who are food insecure.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Agriculture is aware that the Statistical Service information is for the whole country. He has also said that there's enough food in the system people are not able to buy. It is also public knowledge that the Bank of Ghana have siphoned off over 60 billion Ghana cedis from the markets, not allowing traders to have the money to trade. I therefore put it to him that
Honorable Member, you have a right to ask a question but not to put it to the Minister. Kindly resume your seat. Yes.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker.
You have the floor.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Boma, you have the floor. Honorable Minister, kindly resume your seat.
Finish my question.
You are putting it to him. You don't do that. You ask the question. Please, you have the floor. Honorable Boma, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Minister in his response and has continuously put on the floor of the House that the national buffer stock is being strengthened to mop up excess food produced from the system as part of the strategy to ensure all year-round food supply. It is different when the buffer stock is being strengthened from it has been strengthened. Because when you go to the
Honorable Member, what is your question?
I'm building just a 30-second and I'll ask the question. I'm saying this because this is a national concern. If you check around, there's a lot of complaints about food being produced at the market, at the site, and they are not being brought to the market. And this is a major issue. So my question is, if the buffer stock has been or is supposed to be strengthened in this year, how much have been released to buffer stock, and what have they actually been able to purchase out of the market, so that we can be sure that they are one, buying the excesses from the market to give price stability to the traders, and also having enough stock to feed the people who are.
Yes, Minister.
Speaker, yes, you are right. You know exactly what is happening in the system, and which is far different from what other colleagues have been saying. You go to Sisala, your position is excellent. They have produced maize, rice, beans, and others far in excess of the demand in that area. As we speak, price of a bag of maize in Sisala is selling around 250-300 Ghana cedis. If farmers are allowed to sell at this price, certainly they cannot recoup their investment. And that is why I'm saying that we have resourced the National Food Buffer Stock. In the 2025 budget, this House approved 100 million Ghana cedis for them to buy, mop up the excess. That was insufficient. And that was why in the 2026 budget, an additional 200 million was provided. And I added that this is the first time in the history of our country that Ghana is building food buffer against emergencies. You don't know the story. Don't shout. That is the reality. This is the first time, and you cannot contest this. I've Ask your colleagues, they will tell you.
Honorable Minister, address the chair. Yes, Honorable Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to appeal to you with regards to our honorable member of Parliament. Honorable, he's a very senior person in this chamber, and I'd like you, I want to appeal to you to allow him to be.
Yeah, that is more reason.
Rephrase.
You would agree with me that question time is not a period for cross-examination. It is not a period for making statements. Above all, you are asking a supplementary question. Go ahead and ask your question. After a long background, you said I'm putting it to you. Are we doing cross-examination? So you rightly stated that he's a senior lawyer, that he's a senior member, and he knows exactly that question time is not a time for cross-examination. That was my worry.
Mr. Speaker, I'm only pleading with you that you give him the opportunity to rephrase the question.
Very well. You have the floor. Rephrase your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This question is very important. That's why I've risen to ask again. Mr. Speaker, the fact of the matter is that there is food insecurity across the length and breadth of the country. The minister is also saying that there are loads and loads of food across the country that have not been bought from farmers. My position, Mr. Speaker, and my question is that if the Bank of Ghana have siphoned so much money out of the system, and the minister is saying that there's overproduction, I would like to know from the minister how much in value term of food that are still sitting at the farmers' gates, and how much the 200 they have budgeted for will be able to take away from the farmers.
Yes,
so that the farmers
Minister.
can work this year.
Minister, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, according to our technical team, we need not less than 600 million Ghana cedis. Not less than 600 million Ghana cedis to be able to mop up the excess of food that we have in our system now, especially paddy rice. So I'm surprised that even in minority, you cannot speak with one voice. A colleague just got up here and said there is food everywhere, they are not getting market. Another person will get up here and said, I haven't seen that. There is no food. There's food insecurity. Why can't you adopt a common position?
Yes. Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the minister in answering the question, he said he used a certain phrase, Mr. Speaker, which I think is not right, and that he should withdraw that. He said, even in minority, we cannot even agree. Mr. Speaker, when you say that you are generating, Mr. Speaker,
He said you are not speaking with one voice.
Mr. Speaker, his answer must not generate debate. His answer must not generate debate. So with respect to you, Minister, this is not your political platform. I beg you. Withdraw that.
Honorable Habib. Honorable Habib, when I took over, I give the floor to Honorable Boma. His question resulted into an answer from the minister that I agree with you. If you go to Sisala, that is what is actually happening. Now, Honorable Kobi also came. So is it not the case that when you just oppose Kobi's question as against Honorable Boma's question, what the minister is saying is correct?
Mr. Speaker, how can individual members' question be a position of the minority? He is saying that even in minority, we are not agreeing. It's not minority speaking, Mr. Speaker. So you must know that, Mr. Speaker.
Should I give the opportunity to the minister to say minority members?
No, Mr. Speaker, if a member asks a question in his capacity, you don't attribute it to the entire minority, Mr. Speaker. So
Honorable Habib, should I give the floor to the minister to correct it by saying minority members?
He should put it in proper perspective.
Minority members? Minister, they should put it in proper perspective.
Mr. Speaker, what I said was very simple. I thought this is the minority. And in fact, they describe themselves as the mighty minority. And then a colleague stood up here. A colleague from the minority said, no, if you want me to address the cocoa matter, I want to assure you, even though it is not under me, if you give me the opportunity here, I will deal with it here.
Minister, the issue is not about cocoa, so ignore the side comments.
What I said was a fact, that if they want to be considered as individuals and no longer the mighty minority they claim to be, then I will draw that common position and then say that I cannot understand why members of this house can have such different opinions on matters, something that is common to everybody in this country. But in any case, if in your constituency the people are food insecure, then there is something that you must know. At the beginning of 2025, as part of the Feed Ghana program, we launched the campaign for individual households to have backyard gardens so that on their own they can produce some vegetables to support the feeding of the house. This was a strategic move to reduce the cost of feeding in this country. Many people participated. I don't think you can say on this floor that you and your constituents never participated in this program. Then again, we also advocated for secondary schools to have school farms, and 430 schools have been registered. They were given inputs. They are producing to support the school feeding program. This will obviously reduce total demand in the system. Churches are participating, agencies are participating. Members of parliament here are also participating. As you speak, Honorable, the former defense minister, signaled me that, Eric, I also have 2,000 bags of rice. I'm looking for market. And just a colleague on your left is talking about food insecurity. And that's why I said that, look, if people are food insecure, let me know where they are. If they are in your constituency, I will just buy the rice from Honorable Nitiwool and then sell to them immediately. That solves the problem. So we don't have to counter this matter. Honorable.
Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, it's true. It's actually true that I have 2,000 bags of paddy rice, 100 kg bags of paddy rice lying down. Mr. Speaker, the reason is that last year this time, that same bag of rice was 1,000 Ghana cedis. Today, it's being sold at 400 cedis. Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, the problem is not overproduction. Mr. Speaker, if you go to Chamba market, you go to Bundiri market, you go to Techima market, you go to Pasa market, when the farmers send yam, cassava, maize, whatever, people are not buying, and they have to carry it back. Your colleagues, you spread across the whole country, and you can testify to it. So Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Nitiwool, what is your question?
Mr. Speaker, my question to the minister. Mr. Speaker, my question to the minister is, what steps is he going to take to solve this very problem? When farmers will take their produce to the market, people are not buying, and they want to take it back. They will take it the next week. People will not buy. They will take it back. Whether it is tubers, whether it is rice, whether it is maize, whether it is pepper, whether it is dry okra, they are not buying. How are you going to make sure that that problem is resolved for farmers? That's what farmers want to hear. That's all it is. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, Minister, though you provided the answer in a way, you may have the.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I think I have answered this question earlier on. When the same question was posed by Honorable Jinapo, I said what we are looking at is value addition. Value addition. That is why we have launched the Feed the Industry program, and it is being handled by the Minister for Agribusiness. We are saying now. You see,
Honorable Minister, Honorable former Minister, listen to the answer first.
I like the spirit with which you are asking that it should be done now. I'm worried that you didn't have the same spirit when you had the power to do so. Because all these things were there. You never do that. You never did it. Today we are doing it. We are adding value, and we are saying now. Let me tell you, Honorable, as you speak, we have registered some of the millers in the northern enclave, where we have the glut of paddy rice. What we want them to do is to buy the paddy rice, mill, and then transport to buffer stock, so that buffer will be able to buy them. We've also spoken to ECOWAS. This time round, we are not going to borrow rice. We are not going to borrow maize. Rather, we are asking them to come and buy from us here. And so we are putting in place a lot of mechanisms. And I'm giving you the assurance that your 2,000 bags of paddy you are complaining about, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture through the buffer stock will buy it for you. And that is why I'm worried at our colleagues who, in spite of this situation, are saying that there is food insecurity. Is it because they are living in a different world or what? That's the problem I have. Because you know the reality, our colleague doesn't know the reality. And he's talking about something that is not in existence. That's the difficulty.
Habib, Mr. Speaker, if I heard the minister right, he said until this year there has never been any food buffers for food security, if that is what actually he said. So is it the case that the then Professor Mills administration established buffer stock for two main reasons? One, for commercial purpose. Two, to get food buffer for food security in terms of crisis. So you are saying that from then up to today, there had never been any food or buffers for purposes of food security. Is that the case?
Mr. Speaker, that's exactly my point. When the buffer stock was set up, an amount of 12 million Ghana cedis was given to buffer stock to set up during the Professor Mills' time. And since then, government of Ghana never advanced a pesewa to buffer stock to maintain strategic stocks against emergencies until 2025 and 2026. These are facts that can be verified. And you are a member of the committee, you know this.
Mr. Speaker, Minister, so is it the case that
Honorable Habib, how many supplementary questions are you entitled to? Hello? How many, by the rules, how many supplementary questions are you entitled to? Honorable Habib, once you have exceeded your supplementary question, I think... how many are you entitled to?
Okay, my last question. Minister responsible for Agri. So based on the answer provided, so you are saying that there was no proper thinking by the Professor Mills administration in establishing buffer stock?
Well, so long as you said no proper thinking, I have not heard that from the minister, so I will disallow the question. Minister, resume your seat. Yes, Honorable Jerry Ahmed. Question disallowed.
Thank you,
Honorable Jelly. Yes, you have the floor.
Speaker, it seems as if there is a lot of noise in the chamber. Yes, Speaker, thank you very much. Speaker, I want to respectfully ask the minister what it means to say that there is food insecurity against the backdrop that the yam farmers are complaining that they have a lot of harvest, tubers of yams. The rice farmers are complaining they have a lot of. Is it the inability to procure them that amounts to food insecurity, or the accessibility? I would respectfully want the minister, because he was trying to let my senior know that we don't understand food insecurity. So we want him to shed more light on what.
Yes, Minister.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, food security means food must be available. 2, it must be affordable. 3, you must get the food in its right combination of quality, diet. If let's say you are talking about balanced diet, if you get the nutrients in its right proportion, and then supply must be sustainable. There shouldn't be any opportunity, any means to have shortage of food in the system. So 1, we have the food in sufficient quantities, availability of food. Now you cannot complain about that. Then you talk about affordability, whether people can afford or not. And I'm saying that yes, because food prices have collapsed so low, and everybody, and that is why I said, please, that is why I said that, look, as a nation, we are building food buffers. If you said that you have conducted a survey, and the findings include the fact that some people are food insecure, indicate to us the locations so that we go to our stores, make food available to them, and they will be fed. That's all.
Speaker, I have videos of farmers complaining with reference to the tubers of yams they have and bags of rice and all of that. If the minister is not seeing those videos, I'll share those videos with him. That they are complaining. In fact, some are dying, saying that they are unable to pay their children's, their was.
Honorable Ahmed, you are engaging in agreement rather than asking
Mr. Speaker, that should be all.
What the honorable member is saying is not even relevant. You are talking about videos of farmers complaining of the fact that they are not getting market for their produce. And that's exactly what I'm saying here. And we are saying that because of that, we have empowered buffer stock to move into the market and then mop up the excess. So if you show me those pictures, the pictures never portray insecurity of food anywhere. And that is why I'm saying that it is irrelevant. You don't even point to those things.
Members, we take the last supplementary question. Now we'll move on. Yes, Honorable.
Mr. Speaker,
I'll be taking from this side. Let me take one supplementary from Honorable Nogbe. Honorable Kinsley, resume your seat for now.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Agriculture, that is it true that in a few years past, a bag of rice was 1,000 Ghana cedis, but now has reduced to 400 Ghana cedis? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, yes, it is true. In 2024, a bag of rice, 100 kg, was sold at 1,600. Even made 1,500, 1,600. And today it's around 300, 400 in other areas. The honorable member mentioned the Chima market. Just last week, we sent our team there to go and buy maize. And it's around 500 Ghana cedis. When you go to a dry, the farmers are crying. They are not getting the prices they want. And that is the situation. In the face of abundance, certainly, price will collapse. But we have to put in place mechanisms to protect the interest, the investment of these farmers. And that is why I disagree with the doomsayers when they talk about food insecurity and the rest of them in Ghana.
Yes, Honorable Kinsinyako.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Minister regarding the support, the national support for the smallholder farmers. The criteria that was used and the criteria that was used in the nationwide support and the original composition and the cost involved in this whole exercise. Thank you.
Which exercise?
The support for the smallholder farmers.
Please, having regard to the question on the floor, you may kindly file another fresh question. Thank you very much. Honourable members, let's move to question number 529. Also standing in the name of Honourable Anthony Inye, Member of Parliament for Odo Tobri. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Food and Agriculture what specific measures are currently being implemented to enhance the oil palm industry in Ghana, particularly in the processing sector, given that the Minerals Commission has distributed millions of oil palm seedlings since 2019.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Tree Crops Development Authority is recognized as the sole authority mandated to regulate and develop the mandated crops, including the oil palm. The TCDA, in conjunction with Oil Palm Research Institute and Oil Palm Development Association of Ghana, coordinate the distribution of oil palm seedlings to farmers. OPRI is supported to focus on research into improved varieties of seeds and seedling production. Mr. Speaker, the objectives of the government of Ghana's integrated oil palm development policy include cultivating 100,000 hectares of new oil palm plantations, creating over 250,000 direct and indirect jobs across the value chain, achieve self-sufficiency in palm oil production and export competitiveness, and promote sustainability, gender inclusion, and equitable participation for women and youth. Supply of oil palm seedlings to farmers. Mr. Speaker, under this initiative, the Tree Crop Development Authority has distributed over 2 million oil palm seedlings to farmers. A seed and seedling production policy have been developed by TCDA, the Oil Palm Development Association of Ghana, and the Oil Palm Research Institute of the Council for Science and Industrial Research to regulate that part of the value chain. OPRI and the Ghana Standards Authority have developed standards and guidelines for seed production and distribution, which will regulate the operation of nurseries and traders of seedlings. Mr. Speaker, on processing, as part of the government's $500 million investment in the oil palm sector, as stated in the 2026 budget statement, the World Bank is examining data from the top large-scale processors to determine financing structure and models for investment into the sector. And again, equal attention is being paid to the small-scale artisanal processors to provide modern and efficient machinery that is environmentally friendly. The sector employs nearly 60,000 people, mostly women and youth. Mr. Speaker, though TCDA is not involved in the distribution of seedlings by the Minerals Commission, the ministry will not hesitate a request from the Minerals Commission.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question? Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There will be no supplementary questions.
Thank you very much. Honourable members, we move to question number 659. Standing in the name of Honourable Dr. Thomas Anaba, Member of Parliament for Garu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister of Food and Agriculture the status of the stalled Tamne irrigation project in Garu and the steps the ministry is taking to ensure its completion and when it is expected to be completed.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Tamne Phase 3 project combines outstanding works from phases 1 and 2, along with infrastructure that was damaged after the completion during the 2021 Northern Ghana floods. The scope of Phase 3 of the project includes downstream works, conduit works, spillway channel stabilization works, spillway dike formation, canal construction, irrigable area development. All the physical works under Phase 3 are about 70% complete. The outstanding works to date include the construction of lateral canals, the installation of tunnel gates, and the clearing of approximately 300 hectares of farmland. Mr. Speaker, the challenge is that the resurgence of the age-old chieftaincy conflict between the Mampusis and the Kusasis within the Boko-Garu enclave, where the project is situated, has unfortunately affected the smooth execution and the completion of the project. The contractor had to move his staff out of the project site when it became unsafe and dangerous to continue operations. As it stands, the project completion timeline is in suspense due to the conflict situation. Mr. Speaker, the project management team and the contractor are currently monitoring the situation on the ground. I will proceed to finish the work when the conditions become favorable. The Ministry of Food and Agriculture, through the District Department of Agriculture for the 4 district assemblies, will continue to support farmers in expanding their operations in irrigable areas. The Ghana Irrigation Development Authority will continue to educate landowners and mobilize farmers for the effective management of the irrigation schemes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question? use any available microphone.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. A follow-up question. They say the devil always finds work for the idle hands. The youth are engaged perhaps in the conflict because they have no work to do. So, Mr. Minister or Speaker, considering the quantum of work that has been done already, just to develop the irrigable part of the land behind the dike.
I think that's a good suggestion, but we are also looking at it from this perspective, talking to the youth to bring an end to the conflict so that we can create that congenial and then enliven atmosphere that can develop the area. So that's what we are working on. And Mr. Speaker, let me say that the honorable member who posed this question has been to my office more than 10 times on this particular project. And at some point, I even had to invite the contractor and the project management team to come and meet with him to see how we can find lasting solution to the situation. But it all boils down to the insecurity in the area. And we are also working with the security agencies, especially the police. As soon as they give us indication that the place is safe for construction to begin, I can promise my colleague that we will not hesitate to move to the field.
Any further supplementary?